that connection between physical and
Previously
mental
in episode 2.
is so powerful, you know. And I'm sure you see it in a lot of your clients. Like sometimes they come in for a physical issue, but really it's the stress in their environment or the food that they're eating or their sleep patterns, like all these other sort of non-physical related things, and that might be the cause of their back pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
But an exercise I really like to do is think of something that's really shit that you hate,
right,
and thank it because it has taught you something.
Wow,
So
I like that.
the other day I was like, oh, I was working on this project. Like I've got the toughest clients on there. It's honestly one of the worst projects I've ever worked on.
Yeah.
And every day I was like, I can't wait until this ends. Like I can't, like I've only got we're meant to finish this end of October. I can't wait for it to end. And then I was just thinking, you know what? Thank you for this experience. Like I think that my clients are so tough because now I get to learn how to be a little bit more tactful with my responses or a little bit more emotionally guarded.
And burnt out, your values, the things that you value most tends to be the last thing. You know, for example, self-care, you're the most important person, but if you're stressed and burnt out, the chances are that you're going to put yourself first or start to look after yourself is quite slim, right? So I think that's where having support makes such a big difference, but not support where someone's going to say, it's okay, don't worry. It's all about, okay, this is what you're experiencing. Where do you see yourself in your future, 2 to 5 years? What do you want to do? And here are some strategies. I think that's so cool. And I've been fortunate in my life where I've met some amazing mentors who actually, taught me the philosophy of chiropractic, not just pain-based, but looking at a very holistic view. And also had another amazing mentor, Michael, who I'm forever grateful because he was the one that saw how burnt out I was, even though that I didn't know, But so it's one of those things where I'm so passionate about helping people, and I'm so passionate about making changes in people's lives that I forget about me. And a lot of people can relate. Like if you're a parent, you would totally relate. You're passionate about your family, your kids. You will put them first, and then you put yourself last. But it's not until something happens, right, that you start to realize, oh no, I need to nourish myself and give back to myself so I can be the giver.
Right?
And so I'm totally forever indebted to Michael. But out of adversity, out of trauma or anything, beautiful things come out. And this is where empowered living and with your masters of achievement, that's where it all came from. Right?
And I think you touch on a really important part is your coach and mentor, Michael, and that's like the most powerful thing, right? It's you just need that one coach that believes in you, and sees your potential, and it changes the whole trajectory of your life. It doesn't even have to be a coach. It can just be someone who's willing to have that tough conversation with you. And by tough, it's like the things that you don't really want to admit to yourself.
100%. I would push things under the rug.
And
Michael will ask me questions, and then I'll start tearing up because I don't want to talk about it. I'm that person that likes to brush on the rug. Let's keep going. Right? But if I hadn't done it, if I hadn't done that deep reflective work and admit a lot of things to myself and look at improving myself, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. This is the best that I've been in myself, in my mindset, in my health, compared to where I was before.
And
are there days where you just feel so exhausted? You wake up and you feel that, to do these emails, I have to go
every
to
day.
work. How do you show up? What techniques, what things do you do that kind of lets you, boom, I'm in my zone?
Honestly, this year has been one of those years where every majority of the mornings I'm like, oh my God, okay, here we go, like another tough day. Because I think in my industry, I work in construction as well. It's a really tough industry. It's an industry where a second, like you having one more minute of lunch could be the difference between you losing $10,000.
Really?
Yeah, because you haven't like responded back to a call to give an answer, and then the trade that was there has now gone off site to a different project. It's like, so constantly
it's
negative.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, it's very, very overwhelming.
Overwhelming for you right now.
So honestly, there are some days where I wake up and I'm just like, oh my God, okay, we have to do this, you know. And I think doing one thing that has really, really helped me is doing that inner work with my two coaches, you know, like just going, what is actually important to me? Why do I choose to wake up and spend my time doing this? Every day when we wake up to do this thing, this is feeding into the bigger grand plan. So for me, it's not just about like, and I also really like to go, okay, what skill am I going to learn from this? Like I've chosen to dedicate my 9 hours to do this role. What am I going to learn from this today?
I like that. That's a really good thing that you can say in the morning, right? I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered going to work today. But that is actually a great affirmation.
You know, so I really want to challenge myself. Like it's going to be a really tough day, but at the end of the day, I want to come home to like see my husband and be able to give him, like spend time with him and like not just give him breadcrumbs of my energy, actually give him like a proper slice of bread, you know, of my energy. So just like, challenging myself, seeing what skills or what things I'm learning in that day makes it seem less daunting and more like a, you know, like you appreciate the journey that you have to go on.
Is that, because you know, I look after patients that are young to old, right? And one of the seniors, Gerald, he's amazing, right? He's a war veteran, and you know, I'd ask him, "How are you doing today?" And he said, "Well, I got out of bed."
I
Do
love
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yes.
Like it is so, you know, trivial, but oh my gosh, you got out of bed. That's a really positive thing. So I think that the mindset of, if you have a tough day, definitely change the way you're talking to yourself. The language of how we speak to ourselves plays a big part in how we show up. So instead of, like you said, you know, what am I going to learn today? And I think, what 3 things are you grateful for? Right. So I was doing this exercise where I'd wake up every morning and just write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. You know, having a warm bed, you know, having my husband, having my dog Jessie, you know, and I think those things are really powerful to help set your day, because you start off in a positive mind frame. Good or negative. The takeaway message, I think, is to look at the beauty behind it. What did you achieve? And then I guess the other thing that I want to talk about with you on the topic of that is failure. Fear of failure. So we all fear that, you know, we feel that if we don't show up, if we don't do this, we failed. And that's like in a story. But what I've learned is that the more that we embrace the fears and the failures, the more we can overcome it in a much positive way. Because every fear, every failure is a learning. Right. And from learning you grow, and then when you grow, that's your growth mindset.
Yes, absolutely. And